Alright guys, welcome back. This is game number 5 in the best of 7 series here between OGS MC and TSL's PuMa. Yes, game number 5, best of 7, and right now PuMa is up 3-1, so one more game and PuMa will be the victor. So MC really has got some fighting back to do. He has to basically win the next 3 games in order to win this series. So come on, buddy. MC, a fan of mine. PuMa, you know, the more and more I see him play, the more impressed I am, and I certainly love casting games with him in it. So this time we are on Terminus RE, spawning here in the far left position, also known as the 9 o'clock. We do have TSL's PuMa as the red Terran player. Over here in the far right, the 3 o'clock position is OGS MC as our blue Protoss player. So yeah, really excited to be casting a best of 7. I don't know if I'm going to be doing best of 7 every day, but I try to really do best of 3s if at all possible. And actually, why don't you guys let me know this below, because this is something I am interested in knowing how you guys feel about it. Do you prefer if I cast, you know, best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7s, or would you prefer individual games from separate players? So, you know, just pick a game from these 2 players, pick a game from those 2 players, and do 3 to 5 of those. And the reason I say that is because whenever I cast a best of series, there's a noticeable tailing off in the viewer counts. You know, game 3 in a best of 3 always has the lowest view counts, and game 1 obviously always has the highest. So I am interested if you guys think that it would be preferable, you know, if you just want to watch a bunch of matches from different players as opposed to best of series. Either way, let me know what you guys think. I certainly would be happy to hear your opinions in the comment box below. And actually, in all honesty, given that this is game 5 in this series, I have less potential viewers than if I had said this in game 1, but whatever, no big deal. Hopefully the series has been entertaining enough to keep you guys along for the ride. Let's take a look and see if we are seeing standard play. MC looks to be fairly standard so far. Back over here for PuMa. Yeah, it looks to be pretty standard as well, and he's just loving this full wall off at the front, even though it kind of not this in and of itself, but it certainly didn't help in the game that MC won. You know, when he pushed out with that void ray pressure, really put PuMa in a bad spot because he lost his supply depots and his racks that he had at the front of his base. Now, given the fact that this is a very large map, those early aggressive stances from players don't tend to happen quite as often. You may say something like, well, what about a 4-gate force? Well, yes, 4 gates, given the fact that you can warp in, certainly effective, but still, you know, you do start off with units in your base even when you're 4-gating, so you still have to wait that walk time on these larger maps before you actually fully engage if you want to hit them with the full of your force, you know? So anyways, PuMa will be moving into MC's base very shortly. However, here comes that Stalker and the SCV. See you later. Not really paying enough attention, losing that SCV. Did he kill off anything in return, though? No, it doesn't look like it. So PuMa just throwing away that SCV there for absolutely nothing. And I'm really not certain, actually, how much scouting information PuMa got. No, he didn't really. He just saw the one gas. Didn't even check this gas over here, so he didn't even see an assimilator in play. As a result, we can see over here, MC does have that expansion now. We do also have that Stalker moving across the map. Xel'Naga Tower is granted over here. The Xel'Naga Vision is granted by MC's probe, so the Stalker will feel free to engage. And actually, these Marines do need to be a little bit careful. We might be seeing some softening up that we've seen MC do in the past. And here we go, the Stalker micro softening up these Marines, trying to get, if not a kill, just do enough damage and really put these Marines in a bad spot for once a future engagement does come. Marines will be microing forward, though. Stalker needs to be careful. Again, doesn't want to lose too much more than those shields. Back over here inside of the main, what does PuMa got going on? Cloak Banshees again. Wow, that didn't really work for him last game, but he is determined. He is determined as heck. TSL PuMa really wants to make these Cloak Banshees work, and I don't blame him, because if you do catch a Protoss player out of position, it can work very well. And in fact, if we take a look over here, MC really is in no position right now to deal with those Cloak Banshees. So, you know, he needs that robotics. He needs to get some observers in play. Cannons are possible, but not nearly as effective in all honesty. Now, we do have that Stalker move forward again, trying to continue to soften these guys up, hopefully getting a little bit of target firing down. And look at that, none of those Marines are in the green right now. All of them sitting in the red and the yellow and the orange. And yeah, that's rough stuff right there, man, I'll tell you. Another Marine coming out here for PuMa, and MC just keeping it up. He's got another Stalker as well, and just this micro is intense, doing as much damage, killing off one Marine. Might be able to get the second one as well if he does a little target fire, losing the Stalker though, so a little bit of missed micro there. Certainly at the same time, you know, obviously paying attention back at his main. He's got some more pins to take place over here, but here comes that Cloak Banshee. That does get spotted though by MC. So MC, knowing now that that Cloak Banshee is on the way, well, at least knowing that a Banshee's on the way, he doesn't really know if it's Cloak yet, but we do have that robotics coming on down. Let's take a look here at the unit loss tab. Looks like they are relatively equal, and actually MC is a tad bit behind at this point in the game. But here comes that Banshee right now. The Cloak research is finished, so it's going to be a little while until MC can actually deal with this. Now, Banshee has a great opportunity to do quite a bit of damage, so there goes the Cloak. The robotics is still not finished, and he's got no Cloak detection right now. So, pulling away with his workers is certainly going to be a smart idea. Now, what we need to see PuMa do is just try to keep up with that as much as possible, and then pull back once he starts to run low on that energy. But there we go. The robotics has finished right now, so here comes that Observer. A few Zealots kind of chilling out there in the middle, and let's just keep an eye on this Banshee, see how much damage he is able to do. Sitting right now at 6 kills. He is just getting very, very close to being out of energy right now, though, so he just wants to make sure he gets off 1 or 2 more kills and then heads back, and also that Observer is just about to pop as well. And look at that, 9 kills, walking on back home. Very, very nice right now. PuMa sitting in a comfortable spot there, did quite a bit of damage, and look at that, really unreal. Very tough situation right now. MC just taking some heavy losses there. So that Observer still coming on through, and it looks like we may actually be seeing some counter aggression here. Sitting very Zealot heavy. Interested to see, you know, that he didn't bother getting any Stalkers, any anti-air in here. I think maybe his decision is that he's going to be pushing out shortly with this, or, you know, I'm just concerned because if one Banshee is like, see you later, Zealots. so hopefully that doesn't happen, because that would certainly be very, very bad for MC. He's really already taken enough losses. He wouldn't need something as devastating as that to make matters even worse. Number of Banshees in play, just the 2. Now, I spotted the 1. Where's the second? There it is. And wow, that was actually, those Zealots were a little dangerously close there. The one Banshee will take this free kill, as mentioned. Zealot meets Banshee. See you later, Zealot. Not a whole lot you can do about that. So walking back home with these Zealots. Now, we did see that Twilight Council come out, and it looks like the charge upgrade will be what MC is gunning for right now. Really loving those charge Zealots against that Bio Ball, especially throwing in some High Templar and Colossus there as well. It's just really does a great job of tearing up the ground army of that Terran player. Switch into Raven again, so the open up Banshee play, moving into Raven, and then we'll be moving into the Bio Army, plus those Medivacs. That's what's expected over here from PuMa. And here we go with that Cloak Banshee, but we've got the Observer and enough Stalkers to shoo that away. Will he be moving at the same time? No, actually, this one's sitting idly. Would have really liked to see that one moving at the same time, you know, hitting from 2 angles. A very, very smart move, a very, very effective move is what I guess I should say. I'm not trying to imply that PuMa isn't smart, but, you know, it's very effective if you hit from multiple angles at the same time, because, you know, forcing your opponent to divide their attention is a good way to do quite a bit of damage. Even if they forget about one of their mineral lines for just a few seconds, you can kill off quite a few workers and really, you know, put yourself in a good spot. So 2 kills for this Banshee over here. Looks like 11 kills for this one. Bulk of the army is going to be that bio mix here, and actually we will be seeing PuMa come out with a drop as well. Now, you know, MC's doing what he can to defend himself. He's getting a little bit more anti-air just in case there is any more Banshee harassment may take place, and he's also going for that Twilight Council right now. I'm sorry, he has the Twilight Council. He's going for the Templar Archives right now, so he will be going, of course, for that Side Storm, and it looks like Charged Zealots and also some Blink Stalkers and High Templar. Not looking to see Colossus anytime soon, given the fact that he's investing so much in these gateway units by getting these upgrades. Really just think he will be sticking with this plus that Side Storm, and that certainly could be effective. Interested to see him get that Blink Stalker as well as those charge upgrades for those Zealots so very early. Usually don't see them back-to-back this early on in the game. We're not even at 13 minutes, but here goes the drop right now. We'll be taking out a few of these Zealots, no problem. Target firing down those Stalkers as well. They have concussive. No, they do not actually. No concussive shell, so it makes it a little bit easier for those Stalkers to walk away. Now here's a lot of Zealots, and they've got charge, so these guys need to get picked up. There we go, Medivac swooping into the rescue, picking things up and walking away. At the same time, there's the Banshee with a little bit of damage, 13 kills now, so that's exactly what you need to do, you know, dropping in one position and hitting in another. And here comes another Banshee as well, and actually he should be moving down. If he can just get this free probe kill right here, he'll also delay this expansion. Is he going to bother killing it off? There we go. Free probe kill. Huzzah. And then continuing up along his merry way. Now we do have an expansion coming out here for PuMa. The fact they killed off this probe really put him in a strong spot. Blink Stalkers, though, moving forward, trying to take out that Banshee. And the Banshee is going to get away before that blink finishes. The blink, no, not going to bother. The Banshee did manage to get away just enough. And actually, here goes that drop. But that got swooped up pretty quickly there and forced to lift off the rest of what he had. Looks like those Stalkers managed to take out the few Marines that did get dropped there. So here's the expansion right now for PuMa. Now we do have MC coming out with his expansion as well, albeit this one quite a bit later than what PuMa has. Now let's take a look here at the Army tab. I'd like to see where they are respectively. They're looking about even right now. MC can obviously, with a few more warp-ins, start to turn things in his favor. The one thing I'm loving right now is that MC's got some solid splash damage here with those High Templar. Those Archons actually doing some pretty good splash as well. And wow, he's not even bothering just using those normal High Templar. He's got 2 High Templar in play. Hasn't bothered researching that storm. So no, he's just going straight up Archon, Charge Zealot, and Blink Stalker. And it looks like the push is coming. Now we've got a Hellion here for map control. So he should see the fact that this is coming. Charge Zealots taking down the Hellion. The Archon getting off a shot in there as well. This is a big, scary push right now. Now realize there will be no blanket storms or anything like this. We have just got Charge Zealots, Blink Stalkers, and Archons, and that is it. There is no Colossus. There's no High Templar as well. So very interested composition right now. Not getting any of that kind of splash damage. Yes, there is a little bit of splash there from those Archons, but those Storms and those Colossus much more effective against this bio-heavy army. But here we go right now. MC moving forward to engage. Charge Zealots swooping right up on the bunker. We'll be taking that out very quickly, and he needs to be a little bit careful because there's a lot of bio here, plus those ghosts sitting with 3 ghosts right now, and those some heavy MPs could be really devastating there. At the same time, look at this drop. MC taking a lot of damage here, managed to force that medevac to lift off, just barely making it away. MC did take a little bit of damage, and he's actually retreating right now. MC deciding, hey, it's not really time for me to push. Not that comfortable to do this at this moment. I think this is a lesson learned. This could be a lesson learned for a lot of newer players. You know, I see a lot of people that just because they move forward for an engagement, they say, all right, I got to just throw everything in there. I either win or I lose. You know, I can't, I can never retreat. But that's, you know, if you realize you're outgunned, if you realize, you know, it's a tough position, then just retreat, just walk back. You know, rally up your forces, continue to macro up, work on your economy, your upgrades, everything like that. We can see right now MC is 0-0-0, but he does have those level 1 ground upgrades coming on through. How is PuMa sitting right now? He is 0-0 as well, and just about to finish his level 1 as well. SCV getting taken out. 1 Banshee. Oh no, that's actually a medevac sitting over here. 2 medevacs going to be dropping right in the main. So PuMa dropping in the main, and MC needs to do something to deal with this. He's pulling away with his workers, so he doesn't take any economic loss, but he could very well lose 1 or 2 of these gateways. And how is his response going to be looking? A couple of charge zealots. That is not enough. We've got the main forces of both players here sitting in the middle, but wow, losing all 3 of those gateways. It might be losing this over here as well. We've got another drop sitting over here, and PuMa just doing a lot of damage right now to MC. MC sitting still in the middle, but he has taken some pretty heavy losses. No mining going on at his third. No mining going on at his main either. PuMa really not doing a whole lot. Is he distracted by? I don't know what he's distracted. There we go. Finally grabbing his units and engaging. He must have been focused on micro elsewhere. I'm not sure if I missed something. I don't believe I did though, but still lots and lots of damage here from PuMa. Very impressive drops. Again, as you can see, still no mining over here at the third or the main for MC. So MC's just been mining from this one base for a while now, and that's a little bit scary in all honesty for MC. We're going to see actually PuMa will be pushing out, trying to take advantage of the fact that he has hurt MC quite a bit. He will be moving across the map. Also realize that a lot of MC's forces are sitting in his main just for fear of continued drops. We can see a couple High Templar there, as well as those Charge Zealots. Did we finally get that Sonic Storm? Yes, we did. Also just churning out those upgrades, getting a few more gateways to compensate for the ones that he lost here in the corner of his base. And that's also another thing, you know, dropping buildings at the edge of your base, it makes them susceptible to drops and air harass and things of that nature. Now pushing forward right now, and actually we'll be moving up with the drop. We got 6 Marines there and 1 Marauder as well, and let's see how much damage these guys are able to do. Is he going to try to kind of do a 2-pronged attack? Actually might be even 3-pronged. We've got a medevac dropping over here at the expansion as well. So medevac in the main dropping, medevac at that expansion, trying to do a little bit of damage. We do have the High Templar moving on down. There's the feedback. taking out the medevac, and PuMa looking ready to engage, although just being a little bit tentative here. He doesn't really want to fully commit, and he just keeps up this medevac harass, also streaming lots of units here to the center. We do have a proxy pylon as well as this one little lone stalker. Stalker hasn't done a whole lot but take damage so far this game. I don't know why I said that. So here's a medevac sitting idly over here. You know, PuMa hasn't really taken a lot. I haven't really seen any counter harass. Again, maybe it's something that I missed, but it doesn't look like MC has done any counter harass at all. And PuMa trying to take that expansion right there in the middle. A little bit of a dangerous spot. Once you start to get into this fourth expansion over here on this map, becomes a little bit more difficult to defend. But also keep in mind, PuMa, very, very mobile army in this bio-heavy mix. So there's the scan, catching MC's units, and actually he's in a good position. But whoa, walking through the storm. Stimming back right now. Charge Zealots moving forward. There's a big EMP, and we'll just be trying to do a little bit of micro. Look at that DPS just tearing through. And this is a little bit scary right now for MC. The Archons in the front, though, they are not effective by that concussive shell that allows them to just keep pushing against those Marines and Marauders. This is very Archon heavy, and actually, yes, that was enough to force PuMa to pull back right now, trying to rally his forces, get a stronger group before he tries to engage this. Those Archons being those massive units, not effective by concussive shells, a little bit scary for that Terran player, and PuMa will be forced to cancel this expansion. So MC, with that counterattack, doing quite a bit of damage by forcing that cancellation. Very, very impressive there. That's, you know, with again being so Archon heavy, definitely helped him in that position. Also laying down some pretty crucial storms. We're seeing another attempted drop that gets feedbacked and also just completely mopped up there. And there's another feedback, but not enough energy to actually warrant it. So the Charged Zealots, they will just take care of the rest. In taking out the expansion for PuMa, MC decides to drop his fourth in response to that. Let's take a look. How's the mining going on? We do have still a little bit of resources in the main over here for MC. PuMa all mined out inside of his main. He's got a few pretty decent amount of resources left sitting over here, and then back over here at the natural expansion, yeah, also sitting on a fairly decent amount. So I guess they're just about even in terms of mineral distribution at their bases. Looks like MC is a little, yeah, actually no, they're about to. Who knows why I mentioned this. It is important though. You know, you're supposed to try to spread out your worker count between all your bases, especially your first three, so that you don't mine out that early, because as soon as you mine out of one of these bases, it really forces you to move into that fourth. Now we have another drop coming over here for PuMa, just continuous upgrades from both players. Also looks like we will be seeing some Colossus very shortly from MC. He's got that box bay coming out. Some nice feedbacks though going down on the medevac, although it doesn't look like he's got enough ground forces to actually take care of this quite yet. We'll be walking back with a bit of his army. Unfortunately, this version of Terminus RE doesn't have these destructible rocks. It makes it a little more difficult to defend that third expansion from things such as this drop. And here at the same time, moving across the map, and we'll be walking right into those Archons, but he does have a lot. And holy ghost, that is a ton of ghosts. 7 ghosts right now. We're going to be seeing some major EMPs. That drop was taken care of, but there are the EMPs. And once those Archons lose their shields, they're in a really tough spot, because without their shields, they only got 10 HP, and that is not enough to engage. Needs to be careful. There will be some more MPs likely very soon, so here comes the big push right now from these Marines and Marauders. Ghost in the mix as well, sniping down those Archons. Hopefully see some storms over here. We do have a High Templar. Oh, big EMPs again. So this Bioball will be doing a lot of damage. Looks like we do have a drop moving into that third as well with some Marines. That should be doing a little bit of damage. Now let's see if he can sandwich this Bioball or not. Those Archons do a lot of damage, and look at that. The splash damage from the Archons just tearing through those Marines. And oh my gosh, MC lost his expansion at the same time, but he did mop up that entire attack. Let's take a quick look here at the army tab. About even right now. The unit loss tab as well. How is that looking? I'm hitting all sorts of buttons. They're I guess I'd say they're about even, with PuMa being slightly behind right now. But man, oh man, pretty intense. The fact that MC lost his expansion, certainly pretty rough. Now, I'm really happy to see him take out the bulk of the army there for PuMa, but that's a little bit scary. Just continuous droppings from PuMa allowed him to take out this expansion. So MC, that's pretty rough on him, certainly. Now, we will be seeing PuMa here move out into the middle of the map here with this expansion. You actually saw he did lift off that orbital command that was inside of his main. Given the fact that it had nothing going on, there's still a little bit of resources left in this refinery, but this refinery is all mined out. Now here comes another engagement. Big storms go down on the bio. SCVs will be moving down to engage as well, realizing there's a little bit behind in terms of actual army. PuMa needed to pull forward with some of those to provide a little bit of a buffer. He's got some reinforcements coming down, so here come those Marines stimming up. Ghost do want to go ahead and pull out front to try to land those EMPs, losing a unit over there as well from those Blink Stalkers, just blinking right on top of him, taking him out while he was situated there at that Zelnaga. Pretty intense gameplay so far between these two players. I'm really unhappy to see that MC hasn't rebuilt this. He's been dumping pretty much all of his resources into just trying to continue to churn out units. Now, he does have that transition right now into Colossus coming out. None yet. He's got 5 High Templar in play, but he's got 2 Colossus building, and we've got another expansion coming out. There we go. So finally rebuilding over here in that 3rd expansion. Economically, it does look like MC should be ahead right now. He is certainly ahead in gas. I'm a little bit behind in terms of minerals, but that's going to change as soon as this expansion over here comes up. I'm just hitting all sorts of ends. A little small task force over here. Blink Stalker's moving around. We do have another drop, and that's going to get taken out very quickly before it even drops a single Marauder. Sniped out of the sky. Very great responsiveness there by MC. We got some Blink Stalkers pulling back. EMP landing right on the face there of that High Templar. That will force him back. He's pretty much useless at this point. Still, though, looks like PuMa doesn't really want to engage in that position, especially with those charged zealots and those archons laying that splash damage. Also, you don't want to walk into a choke with those High Templar. Finally, though, Colossus in play, and there's no Vikings in play for PuMa, so this is a little bit scary. He's going to have a hard time dealing with these Colossus, especially with this Archon Stalker buffer. It's just a very tough situation. Look at that building Archon just getting carried for the ride there. Surf's up, dude. Back over here. A little bit of rallied units sitting idly. Those need to help because it looks like PuMa could be in danger of losing this expansion right now. This looks to be a big, strong push from MC. Getting us around there on that Archon still doesn't matter. Those SCVs getting torn through. Charged Zealots moving forward to engage as well. The Colossus just laying waste. This was a transition that PuMa was not prepared for, and there is the GG. So there you go, MC won game number 5. We are now at 2-3 between these two players in this best of 7 series. We will be moving on to game number 6 in just one moment. As always, guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.